August 79 AD, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A 17-year-old boy named Gaius Plinius Caecilius Secundus looks across the Bay of Naples and sees death rising into the sky. A cloud, massive, dark, shaped like an umbrella pine tree, climbing 20 miles into the atmosphere above Mount Vesuvius. In 25 years, he'll write 2 letters to the historian Tacitus describing what happens next. Those letters are the only eyewitness account we have. Everything you're about to hear is real. Pompeii has 20,000 people. In 18 hours, 2,000 of them will be dead. The city sits 7 miles from Vesuvius, close enough to feel prosperous from the fertile volcanic soil, close enough to die when the mountain wakes up. For 17 years, since the earthquake of 62 AD, they've been rebuilding marble temples, painted villas, bathhouses with heated floors. They have no word for volcano. They don't know what Vesuvius really is. At 1 p.m., the mountain splits open, not with lava, but with something worse, a Plinian eruption, named after the teenager watching from across the bay. The magma chamber explodes. Superheated rock fragments, pumice, and gas blast 15 miles straight up. The column is so powerful it punches through the stratosphere. By 1:30 p.m., pumice stones begin falling on Pompeii, white and gray rocks, light enough to float, raining from the sky. At first, they're small, pebble-sized, then larger, then the size of fists. They fall at a rate of 6 inches per hour. People run indoors. They think the roofs will protect them. They're wrong. The pumice keeps falling. 3 hours pass. Now it's 4 feet deep in the streets. The weight is incredible. Roofs begin to crack. Wooden beams splinter. Tiles shatter and slide down into courtyards now filling with volcanic debris. Some people try to leave. They open their doors and pumice pours inside like a flood. The streets are impassable. First-floor windows are already buried. A banker named Lucius Caecilius Secundus probably died in these hours. We know he existed because archaeologists found his house, his bronze portrait, and 153 wax tablets recording his business transactions. The last one is dated days before the eruption. His house collapsed. Whether he was inside, we'll never know. Across the bay, the boy's uncle makes a decision that will kill him. Gaius Plinius Secundus, known to history as Pliny the Elder, 56 years old, commander of the Roman fleet stationed at Misenum, author of the 37-volume Natural History Encyclopedia. He sees the cloud and wants to observe it closer. Then he receives a message. His friend's wife, Rectina, is trapped near the volcano. The winds have shifted. She can't escape by sea. Pliny the Elder orders the warships launched. Not for one woman, for everyone. He sails directly toward Vesuvius while everyone else is sailing away. His nephew watches him go. Later he'll write, he steered his course direct to where the danger was greatest. 6 hours into the eruption, 7 p.m. The pumice over Pompeii is now 9 feet deep. The city is buried to the 2nd story. The temperature is rising, 120 degrees Fahrenheit, then 140. The air tastes like metal and sulfur. People tie cloth over their mouths. Mothers wet fabric to help their children breathe. It doesn't work. The ash is microscopic. It gets through everything, into lungs, into throats. It mixes with moisture and becomes cement. Some people make it to the city gates, the Herculaneum Gate, the Nuceria Gate. They push through the pumice like it's snow. Families drag each other forward. They abandon jewelry, coins, everything heavy. They just run. 18,000 people will escape this way. We know because archaeologists found the city could hold 20,000, but only 2,000 bodies were ever found. The survivors scattered to Naples, Rome, and other cities. Some returned weeks later to dig through the rubble. They tunneled down through the ash, looking for money, family heirlooms, anything valuable. We know they came back because excavators found their tunnels, but 2,000 stayed too long, or couldn't move, or refused to abandon their homes. In the Villa of Diomedes, archaeologists found 18 bodies in the cellar. They'd gone underground to escape the pumice. They suffocated when the air ran out. In the gladiator barracks, they found a gladiator still in chains. A patrician woman was with him, wearing expensive jewelry. Her presence in the gladiators' quarters tells a story the ancient sources never would. Pliny the Elder reaches Stabiae 4 miles south of Pompeii. His friend Pomponianus is panicking. Pumice is falling here too. Ships are trapped in the harbor by unfavorable winds. Pliny tells him to calm down. He takes a bath, eats dinner, goes to his room, and sleeps. His nephew writes that his snoring could be heard through the door. This is stoicism, or exhaustion, or denial. While Pliny sleeps, the buildings shake. The courtyard fills with pumice. Servants huddle in corners, praying. Midnight, 13 hours since the eruption began. The Plinian column is weakening. It's been blasting debris into the stratosphere for half a day. The pressure is dropping. The column starts to collapse. This is the moment everyone in Pompeii should run. but it's pitch black. The ash has blotted out the moon and stars. Pliny the Younger, 20 miles away in Misenum, writes, "You could hear the shrieks of women, the wailing of infants, and the shouting of men. Some were calling to their parents, others to their children, others to their wives, trying to recognize them by their voices." When a Plinian eruption column collapses, it doesn't disappear, it falls. All that superheated gas, all that ash, all that rock comes down at once. But it doesn't just drop, it flows, sideways, down the mountain, faster than any human can run. It's called a pyroclastic surge, 600 degrees Celsius, moving at 180 miles per hour, a river of fire and ash that incinerates everything it touches. 1 a.m., August 25th, the first surge. It flows down the western side of Vesuvius toward Herculaneum. The town is smaller than Pompeii, maybe 5,000 people. The surge hits at 1:15 a.m. It's over in minutes. The town is buried under 60 feet of material, so deep that when excavators finally found it in the 20th century, they had to dig through 50 feet of solid rock created by the superheated ash. In the boathouses along the beach, they found 300 skeletons, entire families huddled together. They'd run to the sea hoping for rescue. The surge flash-heated their bodies so fast their brain tissue boiled and their skulls exploded. At Stabii, Pliny the Elder wakes up. The courtyard is now completely filled with pumice. If they stay, they'll be trapped inside. The servants tie pillows to their heads with strips of cloth for protection. They stumble toward the beach through total darkness, volcanic debris still falling. Pliny asks for cold water, drinks it, lies down on a sailcloth spread on the sand, stands up, lies down again. He's struggling to breathe. He has asthma. The sulfur dioxide in the air is too thick. His breathing becomes labored, then stops. His body will be found 3 days later, intact and peaceful, looking like he's asleep. Back at Pompeii, people are making final choices. In the Garden of the Fugitives, 13 people died together trying to escape. Archaeologists found them in the 1860s. A mother clutching a child, a young man fallen face down, an older man covering his face with his hands. The plaster casts show everything. The folds in their clothing, the expressions on some of their faces. The exact moment they died, 6:30 a.m. Dawn, but the sky is still black. Pliny the Younger writes that ash is falling on Misenum now, 20 miles away. He and his mother debate whether to stay or flee. She tells him to run. He refuses to leave her. They walk out into the darkness, holding hands. Behind them, other people are sitting paralyzed with fear. Some are screaming that the gods are dead. Others are screaming that there are no gods and this is the universe ending. 7:30 a.m. Vesuvius launches its fourth pyroclastic surge. This one is different, stronger, faster. It flows southeast directly toward Pompeii. It moves like water, following the contours of the land, filling valleys, pouring through streets. The temperature is 600 degrees Celsius, hot enough to carbonize wood instantly, hot enough to turn human bodies into statues of ash. The surge hits Pompeii at 7:41 a.m. We know the time because excavators found a building with a painted inscription showing the date, and the position of bodies suggests morning light. The surge doesn't burn people. It's worse than that. The superheated gas flash cooks them. Death is instant. The heat causes every muscle in the body to contract violently. Arms pull up, legs curl. Bodies assume what's called the pugilistic position, like a boxer, like a fighter, but there's nothing to fight. In the house of Menander, a family of 4 died in a locked room. The ash preserved their positions. In the Forum Baths, 20 people died in the changing room. They'd sought shelter in the stone building. It didn't matter. The surge flowed through every opening. In the suburban baths, near the Marina Gate, archaeologists found a soldier. He wore a military belt with ornate decorations. Next to him were tools and a bag of coins. Was he looting? Or trying to rescue people? We'll never know. The archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli, working in Pompeii in 1863, realized something extraordinary. When bodies decomposed under the ash, they left perfect hollow spaces. He invented a technique: pour liquid plaster into the voids. When the plaster hardens, remove the surrounding ash. What emerged were the exact shapes of people in their final seconds. A dog thrashing on a chain, trying to break free. A pregnant woman curled on her side. A man holding cloth over his mouth. A child face down, hands over his head. Over 1,500 bodies have been found. Most died in the pyroclastic surges. The ash and gas filled their lungs and stopped their hearts. Some died from thermal shock as the heat hit them. Some died from collapsing buildings. A few show evidence of trying to protect others. A man's body was found curved over a child's. Another adult shielded a younger person with his arms. For 1,700 years, they stayed exactly as they fell. 2024. DNA analysis on some of the victims revealed something unexpected. The adult and child on the lap in the House of the Golden Bracelet, not mother and child. The DNA showed the adult was male. Unrelated. The two figures embracing in the House of the Cryptoporticus, not sisters, as assumed. One was male. The family of four in the villa, not a nuclear family. Different genetic lineages. The stories we told about Pompeii were wrong. These weren't just families, they were neighbors, friends, strangers who died together. Here's what the evidence shows. Pompeii didn't die in minutes, it died in stages over 19 hours. First came the pumice fall from 1 p.m. to midnight. That killed hundreds through building collapse and suffocation. Then came the pyroclastic surges between 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. Those killed the remaining victims in seconds. By 8 a.m. on August 25th, Pompeii was buried under 13 feet of volcanic material. The city that took 8 centuries to build vanished in less than a day. 1,700 years passed. Pompeii became a myth, a story. Then, in 1748, a farmer digging a well broke through into a buried street. They'd found it. The excavations began immediately. What emerged was impossible. A Roman city frozen in time. Bread still in the ovens. Wine jars still sealed. Political graffiti still on the walls. One says, "I don't want to sell my husband, not for all the gold in the world." Another says, "Lucius painted this." Another, "Marcus loved Spendusa." The bodies told the rest. A priest holding temple objects, trying to save them. A family gathered around a table, coins and jewelry scattered nearby. They'd been counting their wealth when the surge hit. A man lying face up in the Garden of the Fugitives, his arm raised as if to shield his face from something he could see coming. What did they see in those final seconds? The surge would have appeared as a black cloud rolling down the mountain, moving impossibly fast, making a sound like thunder, like the earth breaking open. Some people would have had 30 seconds to understand what was happening. Some would have had 5. Some wouldn't have seen it at all. Mount Vesuvius is still active. It last erupted in 1944, destroying 3 villages and killing 26 people. Today, 3 million people live within its danger zone. Naples, a city of 1 million, sits just 9 miles away. The Italian government has evacuation plans for 600,000 people. But here's the problem. The same thing that killed Pompeii makes Vesuvius irresistible. The volcanic soil is the most fertile in Europe. The wine is exceptional. The produce is legendary. The views are spectacular. So people stay, just like they did 2,000 years ago. Volcanologists monitor Vesuvius constantly. Seismographs, gas sensors, thermal cameras. They're waiting for the signs. Earthquakes, gas emissions, ground deformation. When it erupts again, and it will erupt again, they'll have maybe 2 weeks warning, maybe less. The question isn't whether people will evacuate, it's whether they'll evacuate fast enough. History suggests they won't. In 79 AD, people had 19 hours. 2,000 stayed too long. Today, millions live even closer. Pompeii teaches us something brutal about human nature. We live in the shadow of catastrophe and convince ourselves it won't happen to us. The people of Pompeii saw Vesuvius every day. They knew about the earthquake of 62 AD. They felt the tremors in the days before the eruption. And they stayed, because leaving meant abandoning homes, businesses, everything they'd built. So they stayed. And 2,000 of them became eternal. The last thing Pliny the Younger wrote about that day, it was daylight now elsewhere in the world. But there the darkness was deeper than the thickest night. 20 miles away, he survived. His uncle, sailing toward danger, died. 2 men, same family, different choices. One lived to tell the story, the other became part of it. Today, you can walk through Pompeii, stand in the forum where people spent their last morning, see the ruts in the stone streets from chariot wheels, touch the walls they touched, and above everything, always watching, always waiting, is Vesuvius. Still smoking, still active, still counting down to its next performance. The mountain that destroyed Pompeii is the same mountain that preserved it. The ash that killed 2,000 people is the same ash that made them immortal, frozen forever. Caught inside a dying city, waiting 1,700 years to tell us something we refuse to hear. When the mountain speaks, you don't get to negotiate. You only get to choose whether you listen. And in 79 AD, 2,000 people chose wrong.